Hey, what's up guys? We are back. Now at E3, I had the privilege of playing one of the games I was very excited to see on the Nintendo Switch and to experience, and that was Starlink Battle for Atlas. Developed by Ubisoft and coming out on the Nintendo Switch, PlayStation 4, Xbox One on October 16th. Day and date on the Nintendo Switch. But what's really cool about the game, of course, is the weapons and the ships that you can actually put onto the controller itself as a toys to life type of experience. And I thought it was executed extremely well here in this game. And you'll see here in the gameplay footage that I'm using the different weapons and different ships as I play the game. So if you're not familiar with Starlink Battle for Atlas, here's a brief synopsis of the game and the story. The game is set in the Atlas star system, and early on in the game, the player's mothership, Equinox, is ambushed by the Forgotten Legion and crashed on a nearby planet. The captain of the ship was taken hostage by the Legion. The Forgotten Legion, led by Grax, was obsessed with an extinct race called the Wardens, who had left a lot of their ancient technology behind. Grax, who wants to use such technology for his own legion, will become a constant threat that the player must face throughout their journey. So that's basically the premise here. You're out to fight against the Forgotten Legion, and you're going to go from planet to planet in an open world style gameplay experience, and also in space as well. You'll be flying through the star system, taking on various missions, including exclusive Star Fox content for the Nintendo Switch version of this game. And unfortunately, I did not get to play that part of the demo in the E3 build, but I did get a very good taste of what this game is like. It's an action-adventure third-person shooter on land, air, and in space. And as you explore different areas of the Atlas system, you're going to meet with different alien species, and you're going to build new alliances with them and increase the members of your crew to fight against the Forgotten Legion. And currently there are 4 different types of ships and pilots, and each have different special abilities. For example, one has a faster acceleration, faster speed. One is more of a tank type of ship. One can even slow down time, for example, and another one has stronger weapons. So I got to play with a few of these ships in the demo at E3, and I liked quite a bit of what I saw. I think the game shows a lot of promise on the Nintendo Switch. I think this will actually sell pretty well, as long as they fix a few of the issues that it has currently in this build that I played at E3. And I want to make clear that it did say work in progress on this E3 build, so I do hope a lot of these issues will be fixed upon release in October, since they do have over 4 months still until release. So what I really liked about the game is the premise. The whole premise of it is really cool. The whole toys to life thing is really cool. Being able to use these physical items as real items in the game and have them actually work seamlessly is really awesome. I really like that idea a lot. And having them actually being in front of you on your controller, the whole ship itself, it's very detailed, it looks cool, and all the weapons look cool, and you can kind of take them apart right then and there during gameplay. The game will actually pause on its own when you take a weapon off or put it back on. You don't actually have to hit pause, even though you can, and the game will automatically recognize the different weapons or ships that you add to your controller. And another thing I really liked was being able to actually fly into the planet atmosphere itself and go all the way down to the bottom of the planet and land, and then go and fight the objective and complete the objective, destroying the enemies on the way, and of course the main big boss that you have to fight in these objectives that they have in the E3 demo. And how you control the game will take a little bit getting used to. As far as this demo was concerned, at least, the controls were basically that you move your ship with the left analog stick and you turn your ship with the right analog stick. So it's basically tank controls for moving and looking your ship around. So it's not like in Rogue Squadron, for example, where you just use the left analog stick to move and go up and down, left and right. You actually have to use both sticks in conjunction. So if you ever played Battlefront and Battlefront 2 on PlayStation 4 or what have you, that is kind of how you control your ships in that game as well. It takes some time to get used to, but it does work, even though it is definitely different in Starlink on the Nintendo Switch than how you control your ships in Battlefront 2. You just have to play it for yourself to know what I'm talking about, but it is different, and the controls do feel very good once you get used to them. Everything's very responsive, and the left and right trigger are your weapons on your wings of your ship. So what I found was the L trigger was your missiles, basically, and the R trigger was your machine gun type of weapons or rapid fire weapons that you could use during gameplay. And the enemies range from different types of ships, machine control enemies, and of course a bunch of different alien types. They even jump on your ship and you have to shake them off, and other types of enemies as well. in this demo. Of course, there will be a ton of other ones in the 7 different worlds that you go travel to, so the game seems very big and open. And like I said, I really like the transition from space to the atmosphere to the planet. I think that's really cool. I've always wanted to do that in a game, and of course there's been other games that have done that as well, but we do need more of those games, I think. And the big point is that the game is fun. It's a lot of fun to play this game. It definitely looked fun, and it is fun to just pick up and play, start blasting away the aliens, start flying your ship around. It's really a lot of fun. So before we end this review, I'm going to mention a few of the things they need to improve upon on this game before they release it. Obviously, like I said, it's a work in progress, but first of all, the frame rate dips extremely heavily in combat situations. The game even has moments of freezing, and that really was distracting when I played it, since the game, when it did a transition from an area to a new area, or when more enemies were spawned, the game has brief pauses or freezes that actually stops your gameplay completely for a brief second and then resumes again, and then the game stutters quite a bit in large packs of enemies when you're fighting. The game seems to drop below 20 frames per second rather frequently during those scenes, and just normally when you're flying your ship around the level, it appears to be hovering between the 25 to 30 frames per second range when you're just flying your ship around. The game is not a steady 30 frames per second at all. So usually in these demos that are works in progress, that is always the main concern, is performance, because that's usually always the first thing to go in these demos is performance. A lot of times you'll have games like this that they just don't run very well in this type of state. So I do hope that they'd fix the frame rate upon release to at least something more consistent in between 25 to 30 frames per second. Obviously there's a lot of explosions and on-screen action going on. I personally don't expect the game to hit 30 frames per second locked. I think there will be dips upon final release just because of the type of game it is, but the game does look nice graphically. It has some very nice particle effects, it has some nice textures going on, it has some nice shading going on. However, like I said, with the performance was lacking in this demo, and it did slow down quite a bit, and there was a lot of pop-in going on the screen, and it did appear that there is a dynamic resolution scaling going on here. It does look like the game dropped well below 720p. From what I noticed, it looked very pixelated in heavy scenes. So that is another area that hopefully will be addressed upon release, because obviously you can't tell from the off-screen footage, but when you're up close playing the game yourself, you will notice that the game does look low res and pixelated at times during heavy battle sequences, and then when you're off flying by yourself or in less action heavy sequences, the game looks like it's running probably around 720p. But overall, yeah, I think the game is a lot of fun, it has a lot of potential, and I do hope, like I said, these things are fixed upon release and it releases smoothly in October, because the game is very, very fun. I think you guys will have a lot of fun playing it. Keep it on your radar for now, and we'll come back to it later to see how it's progressed when it's closer to release. Alright guys, if you're excited about this game, please hit the like button, let me know in the comment section, subscribe to the channel, and follow me on Twitter, and I'll talk to you very soon in the next video. Have a great day. The waypoint is moving. It's fast for its size. You'll have to hurry. This is